For more than 35 years, Atlanta tunes in to Money Talks. For more information on 401ks, mortgages, retirement, and investment strategies, tune in and listen to Money Talks hosted by Hensler Financial, airing Saturdays, 10 a.m. on AM 920 The Answer.
From the Hensler Financial Studio, welcome to the Gwinnet Daily Post Podcast. Today is Friday, April 7th, and happy 69th birthday to Jackie Chan.
Yeah, he would rather left than fight. It's wrong or right. You gotta like him. Jackie Chan, where's the talisman?
I'm Bruce Jenkins, and here are your top stories presented by Mall of Georgia Dodge Jeep Chrysler. A Gwinnett deputy was arrested for DUI. A 13-year-old took the top prize in a local film festival, and Gwinnett County is using eminent domain to take a historic house. Plus, we'll get our sports update presented by Tom Wage's Funeral Home. We'll have all of this and more on the Gwinnett Daily Post Podcast.
We sat down with Lauren Livesay and Colin Cappy, second-generation employees of Kia Mall of Georgia, and asked them what makes Kia Mall of Georgia different.
We are family-owned and operated. We have been here for going on 29 years. We take everything to heart here, and all of our hard work is what we put into it as a family. Not every other business has that.
Been here in Beaufort for 25 years, selling cars to anyone that wants one. The reasons why you would come to a small family-owned dealership, you get that sort of family experience.
Kia Mall of Georgia, making a difference in the lives of their customers. Go see them on the lot at 4180 Buford Drive in Buford, or visit them online at kiamallofgeorgia.com.
A Gwinnett County Sheriff's deputy has been placed on administrative leave and is expected to be fired after he was involved in an accident while driving under the influence, according to the Sheriff's Office. The Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office said Master Deputy Sheriff Walter Pollock was on duty when the accident occurred. The Georgia State Patrol arrested Pollock and charged him with driving under the influence, failure to maintain lane, and striking a fixed object. The GSP is continuing to investigate the accident. No one was injured during the accident, according to the Sheriff's Office. 13-year-old Karam Alkhatib won the Best Film Overall Award at the Gwinnett County Public Library Student Film Festival with his stop-motion animation film, The Airforce. Alkhatib, a student at Osborne Middle School in Hoschton, was inspired to take up the hobby during the COVID pandemic and taught himself through online tutorials. His mother, Sue, praised his determination and hard work, and Alkhatib plans to use his $500 prize to create more films with bigger sets and longer storylines.
Hello, Canada and hockey fans in the United States and Newfoundland.
And now, Liam Godimer, the voice of the Atlanta Gladiators, joins us for our Glads update.
And we're back with Liam Godimer of the Atlanta Gladiators. And Liam, we're getting toward the end of the season, but we've got some really good hockey that just happened.
Yeah, for sure. It was a long week for the Gladiators. Of course, 3 games, and it started on Friday night at Enmarket Arena. I was lucky enough to go there and call the game live from Savannah, and that was a lot of fun. And it wasn't fun early on for the Gladiators because they got out to a 4-0 deficit. Daniel D'Amato scored 2 goals, Pat Gay and Vincent Marlowe as well. And by the time we were late in the second period, it was 4-0 Savannah. But it was Tyler Harmon who made a huge save on a penalty shot against Daniel D'Amato, denying Daniel of his hat trick opportunity. That kept the game at 4-1, I believe. And then the Gladiators were able to get within a goal, brought it to 4-3, but weren't able to complete the comeback. But yeah, that was a crushing loss in Savannah, just in terms of their playoff hopes.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a good way to fight back, and you gotta like to see that, but definitely a tough loss. So then you go and you've got the home game with the Everblades.
Yep, of course, the Gladiators return home the next night to face off against the Everblades, the first of a back-to-back set against Florida. And these were the 2 games, right? These were the 2 most important games that Gladiators fans were looking towards to gain that necessary ground in the standings on Florida, who, again, still occupies the 4th and final playoff spot. And it started off well for the Gladiators. They got out to a 2-0 lead. They scored a goal with 56 seconds left in the first period by Mike Pollock, and they felt really good heading into the locker room. But just once the second period started, period, the game really flipped on them. Florida scored the only goal in the middle frame, and then the third period, even though the Gladiators went into the third period up a goal, like we saw against Maine when they surrendered the 3-goal lead entering the third period, they were up 2-1, and they surrendered not 1, not 2, not 3, but 3 goals in that third period to lose by a final score of 4-3. So that was a really tough loss, and that combined with the loss the previous night to Savannah, significantly brought the Gladiators' chances of making the playoffs down, but didn't eliminate them at that point.
Just 2 really tough games, and definitely you hate to see that. But it looks like maybe the Glads Sunday decided to take out some frustration from those past 2 games on the Everblades.
Yeah, they certainly did. And Cody Sylvester came out with a hat trick. That was the first hat trick of the season. It was a little under a year ago, the last time the Gladiators had a hat trick. So Sylvester putting home his 34th, 35th, and 36th goals of the season. Sang-Hoon Sheen getting on the board as well. And Tyler Harmon, who's just making his first handful of starts with the Gladiators in his professional career. He made 37 saves on 37 shots, got his first professional shutout, and now the Gladiators head into the final 4 games of the season, 2 in Jacksonville, 2 in Florida, and the playoffs are still within striking distance. So if they can get some help from some other teams around the league, there's still a chance.
So going into these last few games, what are the main things the Glads need to do? And what do they need to be looking for other teams?
Well, I mean, it's really a simple formula. I mean, for the Gladiators, I mean, you're still looking up at the Everblades, and those 2 head-to-head matchups right at the end of the season on the 14th and the 15th are the 2 biggest games of the season. So for Gladiators fans and for the Gladiators themselves, they just want to make sure that their destiny is in their own hands once they go to Estero 2 weeks, or 2 weekends from now against the Everblades. So, but it's really simple. Gladiators win their last 4 games, and the Everblades lose their last 4 games. And the Gladiators will be sitting pretty.
So the Glads, I mean, win both games in Jacksonville, and then you head over, and if Florida can lose 2 before that, you've got 2 essential playoff play-in games, which, I mean, that's as good a hockey as you're going to get, and definitely an exciting way to finish up this season.
Certainly, and if I can add, the Everblades are taking on the Icemen in one of their last few games of the season, and 2 in South Carolina against the Stingrays. And the Stingrays at this point in time are number 1 in the South Division. They've been red hot, so the schedule is lining up quite nicely that if the Everblades slip, and they haven't really necessarily looked that great this week against the Gladiators, despite taking 1 out of the last 3 games. Like I said, that game on Saturday night was a game that the Gladiators really let get away, and it was a game that they were really supposed to win. And so if Gladiators can get some help from South Carolina, who beat them 10-1 and 6-1 earlier in the month, so maybe they can sneak into the playoffs here. So don't lose hope.
So we're all Stingrays fans this week when they take on the Everblades. And Sunday was the last home game of the year. Definitely wish we had more of those, but as we talked about before, there are bars around Duluth where you could actually go watch the games with fellow Glads fans. Am I right?
Right, there are. I'm not entirely sure because I'm not from the area specifically, but I do know that in and around Duluth, specifically around Gas South Arena, there are a multitude of bars that fans can go to. And for the final 4 road games of the season, go out, enjoy yourself, and watch the Gladiators, and for sure.
Absolutely. Still great opportunities to get around with your community and your fellow Gladiators fans. And, we're definitely looking forward. It will be a lot of exciting, just fun hockey ahead. Definitely a big week. And as always, Liam, I appreciate having you on. Hopefully we're previewing the playoffs next week.
Hopefully, right on, Matt.
Gwinnett County officials plan to use eminent domain to acquire 2 adjacent pieces of land next to the McGuire-Livesey House, a historic property in the Promised Land community that was acquired by the county 6.5 years ago, with plans to turn it into a historical park. The Livesey family, who gave the county the house, has accused officials of lowballing them on a price to pay for the land and of trying to negotiate with Thomas Livesey, the 93-year-old unofficial mayor of the Promised Land, while his health was in decline. Family family members see the move as an attempt to take the land from a black family rather than paying a fair price. The fight over the land carries racial undertones. Supporters of the family also said they are dismayed by the county's actions. Former state legislator Donna McLeod said she's disappointed in the county's black leaders who broke color barriers when they came into their respective offices between 2018 and 2020.
Stay connected with your community and honor those who have passed with the latest obituaries from Gwinnett County, Georgia. Brought to you by Tom Wages Funeral Home, providing compassionate care and support during life's most difficult moments. Today we honor Evelyn L. Oliver, Glenn H. Shelton, and Matthew Thomas Jones. Tune in for the latest updates on the Gwinnet Daily Post Podcast.
Breaking news. This is the best time to buy a home. Many experts are saying to act now. Here's Peggy from Peggy Slappy Properties with more.
Historically, your home or real estate investments are the best and safest ways to create generational wealth. Traditionally, the housing market outperforms stocks, bonds, crypto, and other common investments. Don't miss out on your best investment, your home. Let us help you navigate your home buying journey. Call today at 770-271-5555 or find us online at psponline.com. Enriching lives one story at a time for over 40 years and counting.
Disney on Ice invites you to join the daring adventures of your favorite Disney friends. Be inspired by their courage and determination to make their dreams come true. And discover the power to be your own hero. At Disney on Ice presents Find Your Hero.
Playing at Gas South Arena, April 20th through 23rd. Great seats available. For tickets and show details, visit DisneyOnIce.com.
The Marietta Daily Journal and the Gwinnett Daily Post are giving away a family 4-pack of tickets to see Disney on Ice at the Gas South Arena. Call 404-277-5189 for your chance to win 4 tickets for Disney on Ice.
Everyone is worried about inflation, and for many on a fixed income, Tom M. Wages Funeral Service pre-funding funeral prearrangements allows you to beat inflation. Because we put your money in a trust, Tom M. Wages is able to guarantee your family will not have to pay the future costs of goods and services, regardless of how much it increases in the future. Prices will always go up. A sure way to save money and beat inflation is to pre-fund your prearranged funeral today. Let the family service professionals at Tom M. Wages in Snellville or Lawrenceville help you. Call Tom M. Wages at 770-978-3200 or email Jim at wagesfuneralhome.com. Tom M. Wages, the most respected and requested funeral home in Gwinnett County.
GDP Sports Editor Will Hammock drops in for our Gwinnett Sports Update presented by Tom Wages Funeral Home.
And we're back with Will Hammock, the editor of the Gwinnett Daily Post Sports section for our GDP Sports Update presented by Tom Wages Funeral Home. And Will, you know, we're doing this on Thursday, and tonight the Braves will play their first home opener, and they'll play they'll be playing all weekend in Truist Park. And there's been a local guy that's had a really, really good start with the Braves so far.
Yeah, everybody's really excited about the Braves in general, but particularly after going 5-1 on the opening road trip there. And a big part of that success was first baseman Matt Olson. He's a Parkview grad, grew up over there in Lilburn, and was a heck of a high school player. And he's certainly transitioned that to the pro level. Had a nice stint with the A's, and then he's really taken off with the Braves, the hometown Braves, who feel pretty good at this point. I think after parting ways with Freddie Freeman, they get him a much younger version of Freddie Freeman. Maybe not going to hit for average like Freddie is, but certainly gives you the power. So far, he's hitting for average and power. He's hitting .308. 3 home runs, 3 doubles, and 7 RBIs. So had a huge road trip to kick off the season, and was hot in spring training as well. So if he keeps hitting that like that average-wise, then that's going to be really impressive. He's never hit over 271 in a season. I think he hit 240 last year with the Braves, but certainly had his power numbers were up last year. He hit 34 homers and 103 RBIs. So guy's going to give you power, and if he hits for average like he has in the spring and so far this season, it's going to be a heck of a season.
When the Braves, when Freddie left Atlanta, it was just one of those things that you didn't know how they're going to replace him, a guy that had been so integral to the clubhouse. But getting a local Gwinnett guy who's had a good season last year and is starting out so hot this year, it's been about the best you could do to replace someone like Freddie, which it's been exciting to see him do that and continue to do that.
Yeah, for sure. And he's also a guy that's great in the clubhouse, just an amazing guy off the field, really active and helping out his community and that sort of thing, and certainly gets along with all the other players. So I think he's going to fit in seamlessly in that regard too, and certainly he can get it done on the baseball field as well.
Absolutely exciting to see. It'll be a fun weekend to watch all of that with the Braves finally back in Atlanta. We'll go over to a little football talk right now, and Mill Creek, one of their star players is headed to the ACC.
Yeah, of course, that the great state championship run last season for the first time, and they had a really good junior class on that team. One of their juniors committed, offensive lineman Aiden Banfield, a really good kid and a really good player. He's a 4.0 student, so he fits in well academically. He committed to North Carolina. He's going to play in the ACC for the Tar Heels, but he's been an impact player, certainly played a role in that explosive offense they had last year, record-breaking offense. He's been an all-county and all-state player the last 2 years, and to make all-county in Gwinnett as an offensive lineman your sophomore season, that tells you you're something special. He's about 6'3", 6'4", 285 pounds, and he's going to do very well at that level. I think he's a kid that if he grows and puts things together, he could be a pro player one day.
It's been fascinating to me as someone who watches and follows a lot of ACC football to see kind of the transformation of UNC football. For a lot of my life, it was they were kind of an afterthought. Everybody thought of UNC as the basketball power, but over the past really decade, they've really grown into their own as a football program, and the recent Mac Brown coming in has just been killing it in recruiting, and it's really become a premier destination for some top talent.
Yeah, that's one thing Mac Brown's going to do is recruit. Whatever else you say about him, he's always been a great recruiter. He's going to bring in some talented players. They've extended quite a few offers down here in Gwinnett County to the top players, and I wouldn't be surprised if they landed one or two more down here in Gwinnett. They're recruiting this area hard, so we'll see how that goes over the coming months.
Definitely, always interesting just to keep an eye on all those guys committing, because Gwinnett's full of so much talent. We'll finish up with a little lacrosse talk, and there's a big milestone for a local goalie.
Yeah, Sam Lindsay, he's a senior goalie at Parkview. He reached the 600 career save milestone, which is really impressive for a lacrosse goalie. He's a guy that's not really, lacrosse isn't his focus. He's an excellent player, but he's going to be playing the college level as a football player. He's one of the nation's top long snappers. Hadn't picked a college yet. He's a high academic kid, and he had all the service academies offer him, of course, but he didn't think that route was for him. So he's mulling over some other offers, but he's got some pretty good offers as far as a long snapper goes. So that's what he's going to do at the college level, but kudos to him for what he does as a part-time goalie in high school lacrosse. 600 career saves is really impressive.
Absolutely. I mean, that's just a crazy number to even try to imagine. And, it's been fun over the last decade as myself who played lacrosse in Georgia years ago. It's awesome to see that sport continues to grow and how it's just become really a bigger thing. And you really hope that at some point, maybe some more of these Southern colleges can start to get Division I programs, and some of these guys might get a little bit more opportunities to play in college. Because right now it still seems like the big time recruiting is dominated in the Northeast, but it's definitely become a huge thing in Metro Atlanta.
Yeah, I think it's spreading, and certainly in Gwinnett County, it's taken off since we're kind of late to the game here, maybe later than Cobb and Fulton to the lacrosse game, but it's year in, year out, just keeps getting better each season. Teams are getting closer to state championship level, and a lot of talent being turned out in this area. So look forward to see how that growth continues. Like you said, there's some colleges that are expanding. I know Kennesaw State's got a good women's program. It'd be nice to see the guys get some programs here in the South as well. I know with Title IX, that's sometimes tough to add sports like that, but I hope it continues to grow and that's the case at some point.
Yeah, it's been fun for me as a Clemson alum to watch this year. Is the first year that Clemson's had women's lacrosse as a varsity sport, and they've had a really, really good opening season. So I think that kind of shows that there's just a lot of potential for lacrosse in general in the South.
Yeah, definitely. It's a sport that I think people, especially once you play it, you love it. I haven't heard any kid that's introduced to the sport that doesn't really enjoy lacrosse and keep playing lacrosse. And that's why it's pulled so many athletes here and went up to the teams. It's just a fun sport to watch, and it's a fun sport to play, obviously.
Absolutely. Well, Will, as always, I enjoy having you talk and come through, and look forward to talking again next week.
Great. Talk to you then.
Assuming I pass the required courses and notify my insurance company in writing, will I get to drive the fire truck?
You got any speeding tickets?
No, sir.
I do.
Gwinnett County Fire and Emergency Services is inviting residents to participate in its 9-week Citizens Fire Academy beginning on April 19th. Participants will learn about the fire and emergency service with both English and Spanish-speaking instructors. The program offers a behind-the-scenes look at fire department operations, including specialty teams such as Swiftwater Rescue, Technical Rescue, Hazardous Materials Team, and Mass Casualty Response capabilities. Participants may also complete a ride-along with a station of their choice. The program is open to all, regardless of physical limitations or fears of heights or the dark. Applications are due by April 17th. Two Gwinnett County schools, Berkmar High and Maxwell High School of Technology, have earned top state honors in the Georgia ProSmart State Invitational, a high school program that teaches culinary techniques and management skills in an industry-driven curriculum. Berkmar's culinary team won the Culinary Arts Division, while Maxwell's culinary management team placed first in the Restaurant Management Division. Both schools will represent Gwinnett County in the Perimeter National High School Culinary Arts and Restaurant Management Competition in Washington, D.C. More than 400 students will take part in the 3-day national competition, which will feature opening ceremonies, 2 days of competition, and an awards dinner. The top 5 teams from both divisions will earn scholarships to continue their restaurant or food service education.
Join the city of Lawrenceville on April 7th at the Lawrenceville Lawn for a special spring break movie featuring Big Hero 6, a Disney favorite that will take you on an action-packed journey as a band of unlikely heroes saves the day, all while enjoying the cool spring breeze. Don your favorite costume and train with the pros with our superhero training. Grab your comfiest blanket or chairs and get ready for a free and fun day out. Food trucks will be on site with convenient treats for sale beginning at 1 p.m. For more information, visit downtownlawrencevillega.com.
And finally, Gwinnett Clean and Beautiful Shelly Marlett joins us to tell us about Earth Day and what we all can do to keep our county clean.
And we're back with Shelly Marlett from Gwinnett Clean and Beautiful, and we're going to talk a little bit about Earth Day today. But first off, Shelly, just for people who may not have heard before, what is Gwinnett Clean and Beautiful?
So Gwinnett Clean and Beautiful is a local affiliate of a national nonprofit, Keep America Beautiful. We are one of 700 national affiliates and one of 70 right here in Georgia. Georgia is considered the largest state network across Gwinnett, across Clean and Beautiful. But our mission is to connect people and resources for a sustainable Gwinnett. And so what we do is we empower individuals all across the county to take pride and interest in the corner of the community, no matter what corner of the world you might live in. And whether that is to engage individuals to learn how to recycle properly at the curb, on the go, at work, as well as engaging people for volunteer opportunities, whether it's our Adopt a Road or Adopt a Stream program, as well as just participating in our larger events, whether it's Great Gwinnett Wetlands or bringing hard to recycle items to Coolray Field or the Gwinnett Fairgrounds, depending on America Recycles Day, Earth Day, household hazardous waste. So we just want to empower and enable all of our residents of Gwinnett County to have the opportunity to do the right thing by Mother Nature and the planet. So by doing so, we give them the opportunity to recycle right, dispose of items instead of sending them to the landfill, and just educating them on ways that they can be involved to help us further our mission.
I think that's fantastic. How long have you been with Gwinnett Clean and Beautiful?
Since 2016, I took the helm as executive director, but quite frankly, I worked for Gwinnett Clean and Beautiful back in 2007 to 2009. So I'm no stranger to the organization.
Absolutely. So you mentioned earlier about recycling the right way. What exactly does that mean?
Well, just knowing what to put at the curb. So there is this misnomer or information going around that you can put just anything in the recycle bin and it's supposed to be recycled the right way. And that's really not true. At the curb, you can recycle plastics. That's like kind of the biggest mystery is plastics 1 and 2. So it's your bottles, your water bottles, your detergent bottles, and some other bottles such as shampoo and conditioner and those types of things. But plastics 3, 4, and 5 are not accepted at the curbside because those are considered your bad plastics. And so, there's another program for that, Happy Energy Bag program that you can visit our website and learn more about that program if you want to get involved in that. But things like paper, aluminum, steel, those types of things can go into your curbside bin. People often do what we call wish cycling, which means, I'm going to put this electronics into my recycle bin, or I'm going to put styrofoam or plastic bags and those types of things in the recycle bin, and they just don't belong. And so they will get, that means that the load itself will be contaminated, and then it ends up being landfilled instead of being recycled the right way.
So basically, you can do kind of everything right, but you put in 1 or 2 pieces of something that doesn't belong and it ruins the whole load.
Exactly. So thinking about, so say, Matt, I'm not saying you would, right? Because I know you wouldn't. So say you put plastic bags in your recycle bin, and then somebody in the next neighborhood does the same thing, and someone else puts styrofoam or paint or something else that just doesn't belong in there, and then it gets too contaminated. So then, too much of a bad thing means that if it's contaminated at a certain percentage, then West Rock will reject the load because they can't recycle it. They can't do recycle the right way. So then it gets rejected. So then the hauler has to haul it back and landfill it, which is bad. So that means everybody's good deeds went for nothing, all for nothing.
Wow. I mean, that's so hard to believe that it really can affect, but it means you really have to be on your kind of on your P's and Q's about it. One thing I've always been kind of confused about, how do you recycle with food containers that might be the proper material, but maybe it's a half empty Coke bottle, or maybe it's something that still has some leftover pizza crust? How do you need to handle that?
Okay, so for pizza boxes, right? Because that's kind of been a mystery as well for a lot of folks, and different opinions going around out there. So the pizza box itself is recyclable. Okay, if it's got a little bit of grease on it, that's okay. Now, if it's got cheese and pizza crust or a piece of pizza in the box, just tear off that part, throw that part away, but recycle the good stuff, the stuff that doesn't have leftover cheese or pepperoni or something like that on it. As far as plastic bottles go, do not just empty it and perhaps give it one little rinse and just get out, the leftovers, I guess, the residual liquids that are in there. And then that way it can be recycled properly. So, in Georgia, up there at Mohawk Industries and those types of things, and Shaw Industries, they take all those plastic bottles and they turn that into carpet and other materials. So it helps the economy here in Georgia alone, just to recycle. So we're one of the largest plastic bottle recyclers across the nation. So all that carpet that you're standing on, or maybe some of your clothes, or your tennis shoes, those types of things, those are all made from plastic.
It really always blows my mind when I learn stuff like that. It's amazing what plastic can be remade into.
It is. It's crazy. And then even the hard to recycle plastics can be remanufactured into something different, whether it's playground material or those chairs. They're called Adriac or Andrianac chairs. What I'm talking about? I always mispronounce that word, but those types of chairs or toys or something like that, in building materials. So those other plastics have a purpose. They just have to be recycled the right way.
So, and we'll go back to kind of the curbside thing. I remember we've talked before, but one thing I learned was that you're not supposed to put glass in the curbside recycling containers.
That is correct. You're not to put glass in your curbside recycling, and I will tell you why. Because when it gets crushed, then those slivers of glass get on the paper, and then that means that the paper is contaminated and can't be recycled properly. However, because Gwinnett Clean and Beautiful and Gwinnett County understand the desire for residents to be able to recycle glass, we created a glass recycling program with 5 different locations across Gwinnett. In addition to the city of Lawrenceville, they just launched theirs about a year or so ago, and And so there's a place that's fairly local and convenient to just about anyone, in addition to your Snellville recycling facility. So you can always take your glass there.
So would you say that if I'm holding, a party and having some people over, would it just make more sense to buy canned beer as opposed to bottles? It's just easier to dispose of.
If you don't want to take the extra step to load it in your car and drive it to a glass drop off, absolutely. But some people prefer glass over aluminum, so I guess it's just your personal preference. But either way, just recycle both. You can do the aluminum cans at your curb. Absolutely. And we encourage everyone to do that because the life cycle, once it hits your curb, once it goes into your bin and collected, it will be back on the shelf as another beverage can within about 45 to 60 days. So it's a quick turnaround.
Wow, that really is.
I know, it's cool though, isn't it? It's really cool how they do that.
I mean, that is really just crazy to think about. One thing I've noticed when I've been to different people's apartments is not all apartment complexes so a lot of them have dumpsters, but they don't have recycling. What would you suggest for someone who maybe lives there? How to handle, how do you plan to kind of make a regular trip to do recycling, but you obviously don't want stuff piling up in your apartment?
Right. I know that's a challenge for a lot of folks that live in, apartments and multi-housing developments. So, one of the things would be is that I would collect it until, you can also collect it all together, right, outside of your glass, and then just take it to a local facility that can, that will accept it. I know that Snellville Recycling Center is the closest one in Gwinnett that will take it. Of course, you have your Charm facility in Atlanta, you have one in Athens, so it just kind of depends on where you live, where you can take it. Also, there's a recycling facility in Hall County. In Flowery Branch area where you can take it as well. So it's kind of one on the south end, one on the north end. But also, if you have friends that don't live in apartments and, if they're willing to take your recycling and then they put it at the curb, I would encourage that. Also visit our website at gwinnettcb.org. I have to give us a plug, right? gwinnettcb.org and go to our recycling tab. And then you can type in where to take paper, aluminum, those different types of things, and it will pop up with different locations that accept those items, as well as hours, links to their webpage if they have that, phone numbers, those types of things.
Gwinnett County Solid Waste Management, in a partnership with Gwinnett Clean and Beautiful, bring you the annual Earth Day event April 22nd from 9 a.m. to noon at Coolray Field in Lawrenceville. Residents will have the opportunity to drop off items that are typically more difficult to recycle, such as electronics, latex and oil-based paints, clothing, sneakers, and tires. Paper shredding will also be available. For more information, please head over to GwinnettCounty.com. Earth Day at Coolray Field, April 22nd from 9 a.m. until noon. Are you interested in joining a nationally recognized school system? See what your career can be at the Gwinnett County Public Schools Educator Connect. This engaging event allows you to meet with leadership and learn how you can shine with our award-winning school district. Administrators from participating schools will be hiring in multiple subject fields for the 2023-2024 school year. All applicants must hold certification by July of 2023. The Gwinnett County Public Schools Educator Connect event will be April 19th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Please register at gcpsjobs.com/educatorconnect.
It is all about the championship.
Feel the intensity of Monster Energy AMA Supercross.
Takedown, it's time to bring the action.
Emotions run high as the world's best motocross riders leave it all on the track. Get a front row seat to the sport's most intense racing, heated rivalries, and the season-long battle for Super Motocross World Championship points. See the world's best racers compete in Monster Energy Supercross at Atlanta Motor Speedway April 15th. Brought to you locally by Durham Town.
Marietta Daily Journal and Gwinnett Daily Post is giving away a family 4-pack of Monster Energy AMA Supercross tickets at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Call 404-277-5189 for your chance to win 4 tickets to see Supercross.
Thanks again for listening to today's Gwinnett Daily Post podcast. Did you know over 50% of Americans listen to podcasts weekly? Make sure you join us for our next episode and be sure to share this podcast on social media with your friends and family. Add us to your Alexa Flash Briefing or your Google Home Briefing, and be sure to like, follow, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
This podcast is a production of BG Ad Group. Darren Sutherland, executive producer. Jacob Sutherland, director. Producers Jason Gentarola and Matt Golden. And Jinrei Zhang, video producer. All rights reserved.
Cookie cutters are for the kitchen, not your wallet. You don't have to settle for generic. Our advisors go beyond customizing your portfolio. We match your investments to the financial plan we design around you, your goals, your time horizon, when we design a plan around you. Learn about our integrated approach to wealth. Contact the experts at Hensler Financial, 770-429-9166, or hensler.com, HENSSLER.com. For more than 35 years, Atlanta has been tuning in to Money Talks, your trusted resource for your money, your future, your life. Every week, our financial experts answer your questions on personal finances, stocks, or the economy. The Money Talks hosts take an in-depth look at a variety of money and financial matters, including 401ks, mortgages, retirement, and investment strategies. Tune in and listen to Money Talks, hosted by Hensler Financial, airing Saturdays 10 a.m. on AM 920, The Answer.